Sorry. I got here. Hello, Niles. Hi. How's it going? It's going good. It's weird being here not to buy weed. I just want to make that very clear. I'm an Elkhart guy. I'm an Indiana dude. Rarely ever do I wander away from the swamp, but usually it's for the sweet, sweet nectar that you guys create in this state. This is not even on my set list. I was in California last week, and you know what you cannot find in California? Fucking regular weed. Did you know that shit? They don't just sell weed. It's all got to have THC diamonds and all this other resin and shit infused with it. It's like, no, I'm sorry, I'd like to get high the good old-fashioned way, like in the Midwest, where we pull our weed straight from the ground and put it straight into all the feelings that we've been holding in. It's cheaper than therapy. That's definitely true. By the way, my name is Carl Dean. I said that. It's nice to be here. If you're wondering why I sound like every bad radio newscaster you've ever heard, it's because I was all of the radio newscasters that you ever heard. About 10 years in radio. I worked in South Bend and down in Indianapolis. It was a fun career. It had its ups and downs. Ultimately ended, and this is a true story, because I made a TikTok about, well, I didn't make a TikTok about it. I made a TikTok joking about shoving a pair of pliers up my ass. And for whatever reason, that just doesn't jive with the conservative news talk radio crowd. I don't know what that might be. But it's been 3 years. It's been 3 years since that happened. And there's little sort of nuances that I have not been able to get rid of. For example, I do use the word allegedly a lot. Like more than a normal person should. I'm a big fan of randomly giving people the time and temperature as I see them throughout the day. It is 55 degrees and 7:13 p.m. I hope you're okay with that. I don't actually know if any of that's true. But the most annoying thing that I do is bring the newscaster quirks into the bedroom. Look, when you're out of your mind and you're having some good sex, you kind of start to fall back on some old habits, right? Old habits aren't necessarily a bad thing. What I like to do is that when my wife and I take breaks, when you get into your 30s, for those of you that are younger, you'll find out water breaks are useful. Take a break, it's okay. I like to hit her with one of these. She'll be coming after these messages. Always a classic. She never ever gets tired of that one. Even though I don't work in news, though, I do still pay very close attention to the news. It's kind of one of those things you can't walk away from. And to be quite frank, I'm very worried about the state of Kentucky at the moment. I don't know if you have paid attention to some of the stories coming out of that wonderful state. First things first, January 3rd this year, a Kentucky state representative put forward a bill that would legalize first cousin sex.
Oh my God.
Now, this is true. Now, you can go ahead and insert the hack bit about Kentucky. I'm not going to make it. You all already know it. But at the same time this is happening, there's also an investment group that's looking at buying large amounts of land in Kentucky to create like-minded religious communities. I say religious. You all know what I mean. But I was thinking to myself, it's like, I feel like I've seen this playbook before. Like strong religious fundamentalists that live completely separated from society and also have questionable breeding practices. That's the fucking Amish, man. They're taking the Amish down to Kentucky. I'm looking for this. It's going to be great. The MAGA Amish with their buggies and bad spray tans. But I can tell you this, if there's one person in the world that could run a good puppy mill, it's definitely our former president. Oh, man. The other thing in the news is the federal government going to legalize weed? Are they going to declassify it as a Schedule 1? It doesn't matter, because I live in Indiana anyway, so we're not going to fucking legalize it. You don't care, because you're in Michigan. But I was around Indiana when we had the Sunday alcohol sales debate, and it kind of gives me a little bit of the similar vibes. In fact, there was one Indiana congressman who stood up as they were passing the legislation. The nail was in the coffin. It was going to pass. Gave a very impassioned speech about how when he was a kid, Sunday was the day that he knew that his alcoholic father would not beat him and his siblings. And like, look, I'm not here to take away from anyone's tragedy or trauma. That's not right. But also, your dad was a shitty fucking alcoholic, man. You just got to know how to play the game. If you need alcohol, they don't sell it on Sunday. You stock up on that shit on Saturday. Also, I've lived in Indiana my whole life. The fucking bars didn't close. You just couldn't buy booze at the grocery store anymore. As a third and final reminder, You don't have to be drunk to hit your kids. Sometimes you can do it just because it's fun. My name's Dave Carl Dean. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.